Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, the triple-double duel? This is Sports Guy Talking that you guys are watching and listening to. I am Dustin Tran, your host, as I am here today to talk about Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray making NBA history as they became the first duo ever to record two 30-plus point triple-doubles in the same game. Of course, the Nuggets won this game pretty comfortably by the score of 109-94. The Nuggets never lost a quarter in the entirety of Game 3 either, as they were in control throughout the game. Before I say anything else though, I want to present you guys with a topic question. So, here it is. How impressive were the performances of Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray? And honestly, when you look at it from a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the most impressive, I have to give this a 10. Do you guys realize that what Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray both did yesterday was very special, very unique? Because that's exactly what they did. No NBA duo has ever accomplished two 30-plus point triple-doubles in the same game. And for both Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray to do that, that just shows how they can impact the game in so many different ways. With the NBA becoming more popularized in triple-doubles, those two have feasted off of that, especially Nikola Jokic. This Nikola Jokic guy is a machine, both on the stat sheet and on the eye test. When you talk about Nikola Jokic, he reads defenses like a computer. He knows how to make the right passes, post up, he knows when to take shots, he knows when to pass the ball. He rarely makes a bad decision on a play. Defensively, he's very solid as well. He knows how to pick his spots as well. He knows how to defend the pick and roll. He knows how to get the rebounds as well. He can score the basketball efficiently. He can pass the basketball efficiently as well. And he can play pretty good defense. He might never be a great defender, but he's going to be a good enough defender. And as for the Denver Nuggets not having a rim protector, that's okay that the Denver Nuggets don't have a rim protector, because this Miami Heat team is just simply too small in general. The Denver Nuggets don't have to worry about not having a rim protector, because Nikola Jokic is going to be the guy that grabs all the rebounds anyway. And when you talk about rebounds, it's like what Pat Riley once said. Ironically, Pat Riley is the executive for the Miami Heat. He's the president and GM for them. He once said, no rebounds, no rings. And that saying could not become more true. When you talk about the Miami Heat, they got out-hustled for rebounds badly. The Denver Nuggets were plus 25 in the rebounding department. The Denver Nuggets had 58 rebounds, while the Miami Heat only had 33 rebounds. The Denver Nuggets just simply played harder and more physical than the Miami Heat did. And that's not saying the Miami Heat didn't play hard. That's just saying that the Denver Nuggets are just simply too big for the Miami Heat. Now, as a basketball fan, I like three-point shooting. I like jump shooting teams. So if you know that I'm siding with the team that is bigger and stronger and can play bully ball more often, that's how you know that that team is really good. When you talk about the Denver Nuggets, they got guys that can crash the board like it's nothing. Michael Porter Jr., even though he had a bad game, and there's no denying that, he managed to still get 7 rebounds in 21 minutes. So that tells me that he was still hustling really hard on the defensive end of the floor. The only reason why he didn't play more was because Christian Braun was playing really well for the Denver Nuggets as well. He scored 15 points off the bench, and he also put in 4 rebounds as well and played great defense all night long. And when you talk about the Denver Nuggets on defense, they had 3 guys get double-digit rebounds. They had Nikola Jokic get 21 rebounds. They had Jamal Murray get 10 rebounds, and they had Aaron Gordon getting 10 rebounds. That tells me that they were hustling really hard on the defensive end of the floor. The Denver Nuggets know how to use their glue guys really well. I mean, even though Kentavious Caldwell-Pope only put in 6 points and 3 rebounds, he played somewhat relatively decent. I mean, I'm not going to say he played good or anything like that, but at least he wasn't a liability like he was in Game 2. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope did a pretty good job on the defensive end of the floor, not letting guys get shots over him for the most part. Of course, he still had to foul a 3-point jump shooter, but for the most part, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope was not a defensive liability. He needs to get better on the offensive end of the floor, but I'm not too concerned about him on the offensive end of the floor. He'll eventually get it together. I have to think that he would eventually get it together. He's been playing pretty good for most of the year, so I would have to think that at some point he's going to go back to his average level of play. I mean, at least Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is a starter level type of player. He's not supposed to look this bad for this long. Same thing goes with Michael Porter as well. Michael Porter has been struggling all series long. He hasn't shot the ball efficiently whatsoever. He looks as if he's forgotten how to play basketball, but I have to think at some point he's going to get his game back. He just needs to see some jump shots fall. Once this jumper falls, he's going to be fine, and he's going to go back to looking like the player that he's supposed to be. Michael Porter Jr. is supposed to be a pretty good player for the Denver Nuggets, but he's been a liability so far in the series. I have to think at some point he's going to correct some of those mistakes. And when Michael Porter Jr. corrects those mistakes, that's going to elevate the game of Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray, because you have to think about the fact how they both had 10 assists, but they actually had more opportunity to get more than 10 assists. Had some of those players that missed wide open jumpers hit those shots, they would have had more than 10 assists. So when you look at it from that perspective, the Denver Nuggets know how to move the basketball really well. When they make field goals, they know how to assist the ball very efficiently. For the Denver Nuggets to have 28 assists, that's just really impressive to me. That tells me that they are making the ball move on almost every possession as much as possible, and the Denver Nuggets have been playing at a historic rate on offense. Sure, the Denver Nuggets might not have a lot of possessions on offense, but when they do have possessions on offense, they make them count. Per 100 possessions, the Denver Nuggets are averaging over 117 points a game in the NBA Finals, and that is considered pretty bad for the Denver Nuggets standards. In other words, what I'm trying to say is this Denver Nuggets offense is supposed to be pretty prolific, and they know how to make the most out of their possessions. They don't focus on the quantity of possessions per game, they focus on the quality of possessions per game. Rarely do you see the Denver Nuggets go iso ball. The only time they go iso ball is when Michael Porter Jr. is in the game and he has the ball in his hands, but honestly, that's more of a Michael Porter Jr. issue, because Michael Porter Jr. has poor court vision anyways to begin with. When you talk about this Denver Nuggets team, they know how to be unselfish, they know how to play together, they know how to move the basketball really effectively. I've just been really impressed by Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray in terms of how humble they are, because they don't care about playing for their individual stats, they just care about winning the basketball game and do whatever it takes to help the team win. That's what makes this triple-double even more impressive for both of them. When people talked about Russell Westbrook's triple-doubles, everyone was like, oh my god, Russell Westbrook is doing something historic. Well, I was never that impressed, because I saw that he shot the ball very inefficiently from the floor, and that he was jacking up shots like crazy, and that he had an extremely high usage rate, and he was not knocking down efficient shots. But this time I'm going to be impressed with the triple-doubles that Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray are putting up, because they are shooting the ball efficiently, they're playing good defense, they're knowing how to not make teammates worse around them for the most part, and they're not being divas about it. Unlike Russell Westbrook, who just tries to stack at everything and then scream, I don't have a team around me, Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray are thinking, okay, how do we elevate these teammates that we do have on our roster? Even though those teammates might not be great players, they know, hey, let's go ahead and try to make that role player look better than what he would look like on another team. That way that can add to another weapon that we have on our roster. A classic example of this is Bruce Brown. Bruce Brown was a little known role player back on the Brooklyn Nets. He played with Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, James Harden, and he was basically little used, and when he did play, he wasn't very good. But the truth was that was because he didn't have the ball in his hands. That's because they didn't really move the ball whatsoever when KD, Kyrie, and James Harden were on the same team in Brooklyn. But in Denver, Michael Malone is telling his team to get everybody involved in the offense, and that has benefited Bruce Brown more than anybody else, because Bruce Brown looks like a completely different player. Now Bruce Brown is confident in taking open jumpers, he knows when to pass the basketball as well, he knows how to facilitate the offense to an extent, and when you look at it like that, that means that the Denver Nuggets are going to be playing very efficiently. Now I'm pretty impressed that the Denver Nuggets won Game 3. I picked the Nuggets to win Game 3 anyways, but I'm surprised by how much they won by. I thought the Nuggets would win this game in a close game in Game 3, but they am winning the game by 15 points, so for them to dominate the way that they did, credit to the Denver Nuggets, which means that now let's talk about Game 4 pretty quickly. I know that I'm going to make a Game 4 video tomorrow about that, so I'm going to address that topic later, but I will say that if the Miami Heat don't win Game 4, the series is going to be pretty much over, because I don't see Denver losing another game at home. There's a reason why Denver is so good at home. It's because of their fans and their altitude, and the fact that they just know how to play basketball really efficiently as well. So the Miami Heat, they need to win Game 4 or else the series could be over in a wrap. I mean, the Miami Heat, they just look too small compared to this Denver Nuggets team, but the impressive level of the triple-doubles that Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray have been putting up is extremely impressive. They're shooting the basketball very efficiently as well. You really can't find any flaws in the game of Nikola Jokic. Like I said, he has yet to play a bad game in the NBA playoffs. For Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray to both shoot over 50% from the field and get a triple-double, that tells me that they are not forcing the triple-doubles to come into their hands. They're letting the game come to them, not trying to come to the game. What I'm trying to say is they're letting everything happen naturally, and when everything happens naturally, if you're a superstar, is that you're going to win a lot of games in the NBA. The Denver Nuggets are now 2 wins away from winning their first ever NBA title. I mean, for Nuggets fans, that's got to be very exciting for them. I'm just impressed with how well Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray played, so that is why aside, the performances of Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray were indeed very impressive, as the Nuggets will still win this series in 5 games against the Heat. Remember, go ahead and subscribe to Sports Guy Talking, like the video, and please comment down below. If you guys do that, I may shout you guys out in my Instagram story every Monday. That'll be for the @DustinTran Instagram account. Make sure to follow me on Instagram @DustinTran and @SportsGuyTalking. Also, go follow me on Twitter @DustinTran. Again, go ahead and do those things that I just told you guys to go do. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the content that was just produced. Peace out. I hope you enjoyed that video. Want more Sports Guy Talking, the home of great sports content? Make sure you click that subscribe button to get the latest from Sports Guy Talking. Go ahead and like the video, comment down below, check the description box on the video in order to follow my Instagram and Twitter. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from the YouTube channel Sports Guy Talking.